When the holidays start to feel a bit repetitive, reach for a Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry and put your twist on tradition. A bold cranberry and winter spice flavor fusion, Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry is a refreshing way to shake things up this sipping season. And only for a limited time. Sprite. Obey your thirst.
We find Vecna, we end this once and for all. Together.
On December 25th.
We have a plan. It's a bit insane. Everyone in?
He knows where we are.
Watch out! Get ready for one last adventure.
We stay true to ourselves. Stay true to our friends, no matter the cost.
Found you. Stranger Things, Season 5, Volume 2, begins December 25th. Only on Netflix.
Ho, 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 and welcome to another episode of the
Who
most
you
haunted
calling a hoe?
Ho, ho, ho. You know. My name is Madison Timmons.
I'm Chris Soucy.
And we're paranormal investigators who live in the most haunted city on earth, Savannah, Georgia.
Whether we're in the studio
Or out in the field,
we hunt for the stories and experiences where the veil feels thin.
shout out to our Parajunkie family on Patreon. This show is only possible with you.
And remember, this is a judgment-free circle. Your experiences matter, your questions are welcome, and the weird is normal.
So cut the lights, turn the volume up, and journey with us into the most haunted city on earth. I'm Madison.
I'm Chris.
And welcome to the most haunted city on earth.
Boom. Wait, was that supposed to be more festive? Ho, ho, ho.
Yes, that was supposed to be. The more aggressive your hoes are.
Well, wait. Listen.
All right. Listen.
We used to be a family show, now not so much.
Well, if you want the raunchier side of us, the raunchier, more unhinged side of us, we do have a new show coming up, and that is going to be the other side show, the other side of our personalities, the other side of the veil, the other side of nonsense, all of the above.
Woo!
That is what we're going to be doing. I also didn't say what we're doing today. We're going to talk about Krampus, and we'll talk about that in a second. But also, happy Krampus Nacht.
Yay!
Krampus Nacht!
Yes.
This drops on Krampus Nacht, so
It
you're
does.
watching it on Friday,
Krampus
most
Nacht.
likely.
Yes. But yeah, one of our announcements, though, is we are going to be doing a horror/paranormal themed improv show.
Woo!
And that will begin on December 9th, and we are going to be live streaming for the Parajunkies for that filming.
Yes.
So
Yes, we are.
yes. So if you want to watch that, you know where to find us.
That's going to be episode 1 and 2 that night.
Yes.
Yep. So if you like Whose Line and Freddy Krueger, you're going to love this.
It's the mashup you never knew you wanted.
And maybe never will.
Exactly. Who knows? But you can find out.
The beauty of improv. We
Yes.
just don't know.
We just don't know. And it's a very unhinged group of people. Besides Patrick, who will be hosting. Patrick is
It's
actually
surprisingly hinged.
He's
maybe double
abnormally
hinged.
Yeah.
Overly hinged.
Yes.
But in the best way.
Yes.
The
Wait
most
till y'all meet.
fascinating way.
Yes.
So my kid's description of Patrick is he's the typewriter man who speaks in italics.
Yes.
Yes.
And
That's
when you
100%
see
correct.
him, you'll understand what that means.
Yes. You'll love it. It's going to be great.
He's amazing.
Yes.
He's an incredible host. He's going to be an amazing host. He was Dr. Gauss when we had the Savannah Underground. I mean, he is just awesome. And we have some really funny people, including the two that you're looking at right now.
Ding, ding, ding. Aren't we the winners?
Yes.
All right. So, yeah. So if you want to see us talk about that and watch Chris in his element, because before all of this, Chris was actually the owner of a very successful improv group here in Savannah. So this is like his bread and butter.
Patrick was a host for us
Yeah.
for years, for Odd Lot as well. As a matter of fact, that's how Patrick became involved in
All of
all of
this.
this.
Very much so to his detriment, I'm sure. But
Lord only knows what he would be doing. Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't even fathom what his life would be like had we not kidnapped him.
We did kidnap him.
held him hostage.
and forced him to dance for us.
Yes, and forced him to be spooky.
We just put him in stuff.
Yep.
We did.
He's so talented.
But yeah.
All right.
Anyways, okay, you'll see more when we get to all of that. Let's talk about our favorite guy, Krampus.
Yes.
You know, our favorite guy.
Who's actually going to be here.
He's going to be
here.
at the Savannah Paranormal Museum.
The Mr. Krampus is going to be
Mr. Krampus.
Actually, I'm sure that we'll touch base on that whole construct of Krampus, because something that a lot of people don't realize about Krampus is Krampus was not his name. He's not Krampus.
Yeah.
Krampus is the species, the beast. There are many Krampuses.
There's a lot of Krampi out there.
So Krampus is a type of monster, but he became Krampus. I mean, we got to know him. The name stuck after he, in the mid 1800s, they started like making these postcards.
Yep.
And so Krampus became universally known as a singular character. But if you go into the Alpine, into Austria or Bavaria, they'll have what they call Krampus runs or Krampus parades, where there are dozens of them just kind of storming through the streets.
What? That's crazy.
What is a Savannian Krampus called?
Savannian Krampus.
Krampus!
A drunkus. That is
Drunkus.
That is what
Charlie
he'd be called.
Horses.
Charlie Horses.
I got a Krampus on the side. You know, sometimes you wake up and, oh, there's a Krampus.
He's a Twitches. But yeah.
Claude?
Claude? Jacques? No, too bougie. That's too fancy for us.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
It's like Bo.
Bo.
It's
Bo Krampus.
Krampus, y'all.
Krampus,
All right.
y'all. But yeah, if you want to come take your photo with Krampus, you have less than 24 hours from when you're listening to this to get to Savannah and come take a photo with
He'll
Mr.
be at the
Krampus.
Savannah Paranormal Museum from noon to 4 p.m. taking pictures with people as they come through the museum.
Mm-hmm.
Any recommended Bubba Krampus?
Bubba Krampus.
Krampus is
I like
good.
Bubba
That's pretty
Krampus.
good. That is pretty solid.
Hell yeah.
There was that Bubba Hotep movie
Yeah.
where Elvis fought a mummy. And so I think Bubba Krampus, Elvis fights Krampus.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. That's good.
I would also wager that Krampus would be involved with one of the prominent families of Savannah, so it'd be Krampus Davenport. That's
Krampus Davenport the Fourth.
yes.
Rawr, I say.
That's hilarious.
You can call him Crampy when it gets nasty, but it's anyways. Nonetheless, Chris, take it on with your story about Krampus first before we get into this nonsense.
So, when I was 5 years old, we moved to Amberg, Germany. Now, Amberg, Germany is this idyllic, like, Christmas card of a place. It was just this amazing, it was a fortress walled in town, and Amberg had this very small military base on it, and we all stayed in this kind of apartment building. So we're living in this apartment building, and we were told, and this is some weeks before Christmas, we were told that St. Nicholas was coming that night. And it was just full fervor. We were like, St. Nicholas, because in our Americanized brains, we knew that St. Nicholas was Santa Claus. There was no separation of those two things. It's St. Nicholas is Santa Claus. Years later, I'd find out that there's some nuance there.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you tell us St. Nick is coming, we know it's Santa Claus. So we're very excited, we're very happy, and we're like gathering in the stairwell of our apartment building because St. Nicholas is coming. So we're like all, just jazzed because, oh gosh, Santa's coming, Santa's coming. And we were all these young kids, and our parents were behind us. And sure enough, St. Nicholas shows up. Now, he is not dressed like Santa Claus. He's dressed like the Pope. He is wearing a big pointy hat and the robes and the whole 9 yards, but you don't really notice that as much because he has, at the end of a chain, a snarling demon. And this snarling demon comes into the little stairwell, snapping and snarling, and his tongue is wagging all over the place. And I'm sure that this was probably a store-bought gorilla suit.
Oh my God.
Where they stapled horns to it. But in our minds, this was the realest, most horrifying monster we had ever seen in our lives. We are screaming and running and retreating, but our parents are pushing us towards him because this is Krampusnacht. And we are in Amberg, Germany, so we are going to enjoy an evening with Krampus. And
he
Krampus
bites you?
snarling, swinging sticks at us. But St. Nicholas has a chain on him, and he's pulling him back and pulling him back and pulling him back. And then we're told that at midnight, St. Nicholas is going to drop that chain, and Krampus is going to be free to roam and run. And if any of us had misbehaved that night, if any of us had misbehaved at all, if any of us are out of bed or awake at midnight, we would be dragged away into the woods and beaten with sticks. This was the holiday tradition that I would endure in Amberg, Germany for 5 years. For 5 years, we were always scared of Krampusnacht. And that was the eve before St. Nicholas arrives. St. Nicholas, his day is December 6th. So December 5th was when Krampus was set free. Now, this is interesting because throughout Germany, we would encounter different Krampus celebrations on all kinds of nights. Krampus could actually show up anywhere from late November all the way up to Christmas Eve. There are celebrations, there are Krampus runs, there are Krampus parades, but it all falls onto the idea that there is one celebratory Krampusnacht where you're really supposed to be on your best behavior. And we would take boots and put them out to get candy. Because if you were good, you'll get candy in your boot. If you were bad, dragged off and beaten by a demon.
Oh, Hilton stay, your beds are soft and cozy. No lumpy couch, no stiff futon, no shower line at crack of dawn. Oh, Hilton stay, oh, Hilton stay.
When you want holiday comfort you can count on, it matters where you stay. Enjoy comfortable rooms and friendly service when you stay with Hilton instead. Save up to 25% this season when you book with Hilton. Hilton for the stay. Terms apply.
The Who's down in Who Newville were making their list, but some didn't know Walmart has the best brands for their gifts.
What about toys? Do they have brands kids have been wanting all year?
Yep, Barbie, Tony's, and Lego. Gifts that will make them all cheer.
Do you mean they have all the brands I adore?
They have Nintendo, Nespresso, Apple, and more.
What about...
So the Who answered questions from friends till they were blue. Each one listened and shouted, from Walmart? Who knew? Shop gifts from top brands for everyone on your list in the Walmart app.
This seems fair, I
This
guess.
is German holidays, people. This is where it goes. And so it was fascinating because so often growing up, because we moved all around Europe and moved all around the world, really, we would see traces of these kind of winter beasts, these winter monsters or winter scary things. There's La Befana, there's the Yule Lads, there's all these interesting sort of almost elemental concerns where the closer you got to the solstice, to that Saturnalia, to the winter solstice, the more fierce the creatures that would hunt you down were. So yes, I grew up with a healthy fear and fascination of Krampus. And so when we were first coming up with the idea of doing the museum, we were looking at the dates and we're like, oh gosh, Krampusnacht is on a Friday night. And it made more sense to have him show up on Saturday. So we decided to host him on Saturday because he's busy.
Yeah,
he's busy on Krampusnacht.
Yeah.
He's got kids to beat with
exactly.
sticks.
He's going to be up late.
He's going to be up late. So we're going to let him sleep in a little, and then he'll come in, and we'll take pictures with him.
Yeah, he's apparently coming from Krampus Market in Charlotte the night before. So, and New Orleans and all sorts of things. He's magical.
He's gonna be exhausted.
Yeah,
he is a busy. Well, and again, we have determined and identified Krampus as a singular creature, but in original lore, Krampus is a type of creature. I think the word actually means claw.
It does.
Comes from
that is
claw.
Correct. That is one of my
so
facts.
there was this this notion that these sort of pagan creatures, right?
Yep.
These pagan-looking, pagan-like creatures are being pulled into the Christian rule. And that's kind of what those chains and what, being bound or serving under St. Nicholas, because St. Nicholas is, in fact, controlling Krampus. And Krampus, works beneath him because Christianity will win over the pagan, monsters.
Yes.
Although when it really comes down to it, it seems like Krampus is more almost like a partner.
Yeah.
Because they will talk about it as
he's
if
like
he's
the bad cop.
He's the bad cop
Yeah.
to St. Nick's good cop.
Yes.
So I do think that Krampus gets a bum rap a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Because he does have a function, and he does it. He does. He scares children straight.
He does it well.
Yes.
And if you stick around to the end of this episode, you will hear little known facts about Krampus. And I told Chris before we started filming, I'm like, you probably know these facts, but the general public probably doesn't, including me. So let's get into it. All right. So Krampus is a figure that was born from Alpine folklore. Also doing this research, I realized that I hate the word Alpine. So
Such a strange thing to just hate. It's
feels,
like those people who hate the word moist.
I hate that too.
See?
It just feels wrong in your mouth. I don't know. No offense to people who are from the Alpine general region, just not into it. Anyways, so he serves as a formidable counterpart to St. Nicholas, as Chris was saying. His mission is to punish the naughty children of the world while St. Nicholas rewards the well-behaved ones. Unlike his benevolent counterpart, Krampus is not to be trifled with. He inflicts far more severe consequences than simply handing out coal. Krampus is often depicted as a man with horns, one grotesque human foot, and one goat foot. Did you know that?
No.
I thought he had 2 goat feet.
I did. And that is a very weird thing, because sometimes you'll actually see it depicted where he has a weird gated limp.
Yeah.
But that is, again, about the malformed man-beast. That is a tradition that actually may have even stemmed up from Greece, I think, from
Probably.
Proto-European pagan religions about transformation.
Krampus is a mutt, to say the least.
He's a bit of a mutt.
Yeah. And he is usually covered in black or brown hair and possesses a long snake-like or dragon-like tongue. Krampus is known for carrying a bundle of birch sticks and is prepared to whip deviant children into submission.
Facts.
Like the 12 tribes. It's fine. I'm already on their hit list anyways. Might as well. Krampus is also known for carrying chains, and these chains are believed to symbolize the binding of the devil. Krampus thrashes these chains for dramatic effect, and sometimes they are accompanied by bells of various sizes. A basket strapped to his back is used to transport the most unruly kids back to his lair for drowning, eating, or transport to hell.
You know.
The
regular stuff.
Absolutely. Krampus employs various tactics to punish those he captures. He is known to use both his birch sticks and chains for lashings. Moreover, his criminal record also includes kidnapping, drowning, and cannibalism.
Facts.
Yes. So, which I'm like, cannibalism meaning that he
eats
is
other Krampuses?
Right. Because I'm like, he is technically half human.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I'm like, I guess that is still technically cannibalism.
Sure.
But also, he might be eating the other Krampi.
Yeah.
I don't know. So a little history of Krampus. Although there's some debate about the precise origin of Krampus, he appears to have emerged from the remnants of ancient pagan celebrations of the winter solstice, which is the longest night of the year.
And it's important to denote that most of those celebrations, recognizing that shortest day of the year, is as much about the fact that the days start getting longer afterwards. So leading up to the solstice, you're talking about the high rate of death and the ferocity of winter and the viciousness of the cold and the fact that people don't survive the winter. And so it makes sense that there would be monsters that you would actually characterize winter itself as a monster that would claim children, that would take the weak.
Make sense.
And that becomes like interesting because as you look through all of those, Celtic, Nordic, Germanic kind of traditions, those winter holidays and the things that they did in practice to get ready for hopefully the coming of a spring, it's amazing that they had that much insight to know, well, this is the shortest day. We've marked and noted that the sun stays out longer after this moment. So that is also when these tirades stop, when the beasts stop attacking, when it's basically saying, hey, winter's over.
Yeah.
You
can come out now.
Yeah. We're coming out of winter.
Yes. And so in Germanic folklore, he dates back to the 1600s, which is crazy. His name derives from the German word Krampen, which means claw. Some speculate that he's the son of Hel, the Norse goddess of death in the underworld. Others believe that he originated from the horned god of witches, a deity found in Wicca in certain forms of neo-paganism. The horned god is associated with wilderness, sexuality, nature, and hunting. He's
also the Green Man, Pan,
exactly.
all of those gods.
Very similar vibe. And so he is depicted with a beast's head and horns symbolizing the union of the divine and the animal. But in the 17th century, Krampus was paired with St. Nicholas as a helper, if you will, or an enslaved Krampus. I don't know.
It's weird because sometimes they do typify that he's been enslaved.
Right.
And again, trying to suggest Christianity's power over the devil and the demon.
Is that what the chains are for?
Yes, it represents the devil, like Christianity chaining up the devil, basically.
Got it.
And don't worry, Alex, I will get to that in just a second. Fear not, they're coming. Whoever is listening to this will find out also about a little factoid I have in the future. So anyways, since St. Nicholas was a saint, it was illogical and not considered saintly behavior for Nicholas to deliver punishments. Therefore, a helper was assigned to St. Nicholas, and these helpers would go down the chimney or punish naughty children.
It's just the good woman of Szechuan, if you're not familiar with that story.
Yeah.
You can't be a good person and dole out punishment, so you need that alter ego.
Yeah, you just need that little guy.
I'm thinking maybe St. Nick would pull out some horns from his closet and be like, I'm getting that kid.
He's really been irking me this whole year. But
where's my birch sticks?
But Krampus served St. Nicholas in that role. So with the spread of Christianity, Krampus became associated with Christmas, much to the chagrin of the Catholic Church, who attempted to ban him due to his strong resemblance to the devil. And it wasn't the only time there was an attempt to thwart the Christmas devil, but Krampus always prevailed. And for people living in the Alpine region, celebrating Krampus is integral to winter customs, as taking photos with Santa Claus is to us Americans. Krampus appears in the folklore of Austria, Bavaria, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Croatia, Czech Republic, Hungary, Romania, Bulgaria, all of the places. And so there became the Festival of Krampusnacht. So the Feast of St. Nicholas, celebrated on December 6th in parts of Europe, precedes Krampus Night, also known as Krampusnacht. So on December 5th, the morning of December 6th, children dedicate it to finding out if they got gifts or if they need a trip to the ER. Because Krampus beat the shit out of them.
Which means that there's a likelihood that there was a period of time when parents would just sneak into their kids' rooms and just wallop them right in the middle of the night so that they wake up and be like, ow, I got a bruise. Well, Krampus must have really hated when you went out and broke all those dishes.
Exactly. So he beat you with a birch stick. And it totally wasn't mom.
It was not mom.
Yeah. But during Krampusnacht, the mischievous and hairy devil Krampus roams the streets. Sometimes he's accompanied by St. Nicholas, while at other times he visits homes and businesses on his own. So St. Nicholas typically appears in the Eastern Rite vestments of a bishop. And
see?
Yeah, exactly.
He's dressed like the Pope.
He was dressed like the Pope and carries a golden ceremonial staff.
Oh, yeah.
And unlike North American versions of Santa Claus, in these celebrations, St. Nicholas is solely concerned with rewarding good children, while Krampus is responsible for punishing the bad ones. Traditionally, on this suspenseful evening, children would leave a shoe outside their door, like Chris did. The following morning, they would receive their first warning. If they had behaved, their shoe would be filled with presents left by the saint. However, if they had been naughty, Krampus would leave a birch stick as a warning that he was aware of their misbehavior. And these,
dun, dun, dun.
Which, how ominous would that be?
No.
Or a great prank if you were a parent that had a really awful child, but neither here nor there. And so these days, Krampusnacht has evolved into a wild and boisterous celebration of terror and joy. It features feasting, parades, and a large number of people dressed as Krampus. There's also plenty of drinking, with schnapps being the preferred beverage. And for an even more raucous experience, participants in the annual Krampuslauf, or Krampus Run, engage in a fun and festive activity. Originally, the Krampuslauf was intended to ward off evil spirits. that is not what it is used for now. While the original intention...
Sort of the Halloween notion.
Exactly. And so while the original intention may still be present in some places, it seems that the primary focus has shifted to having a good time getting drunk and wearing incredibly frightening costumes while running through the streets, playfully harassing festival goers. And now, to answer your question, Alex, the lady Krampuses. If you didn't know, there are lady Krampuses out there.
Yes. I mean, originally.
Krampus was originally a woman, which that was news to me.
That is complete news to me.
Yes.
Wow.
And so in the Alpine regions, established pagan traditions intertwined with Catholicism, people would disguise themselves as Perchit, a two-legged demonic humanoid goat with a giraffe-like neck adorned in animal furs. They would wear costumes and participate in processions called Perchenlaufen, considered an earlier form of the Krampus runs. However, the Catholic Church viewed Perchenlaufen with suspicion and banned them in some areas. And due to the sparse population and rugged terrain of the Alpine region, the ban was ineffective and easily circumvented, rendering it useless. So people did it anyways. Eventually, the Perchenlauf, inspired by the Nicholas plays, introduced St. Nicholas and his set of positive morals. Consequently, the Perched transformed into the Krampus, who was made to obey St. Nicholas's will. It's customary to offer Krampus schnapps, a potent distilled fruit brandy, and these runs may include Perchten, wild pagan spirits from the Germanic folklore, sometimes depicted as female. However, Perchten are specifically associated with the period between the winter solstice and January 6th, which is referred to as the 12 nights.
Right.
So technically they're still involved. It's just they kind of are overshadowed. Yeah, exactly. They take over once Krampus has done his bidding.
Right.
And so Krampus has been involved in injuries, and this is not Krampus, like folklore Krampus. This is human Krampuses. So every year, Krampus runs lead to arguments, and occasionally spectators retaliate against Krampuses who have whipped them and attacked them. And in 2013, after several Krampus runs in East Tyrol, 8 people, mostly with broken bones, were admitted to the Linz District Hospital, and over 60 others were treated on an outpatient basis.
So in a lot of these like Alpine communities, being Krampus during a Krampus run or Krampus off, it really does like run traditional.
Yeah.
So, these masks, some of those masks are so beautifully crafted and amazing wood masks are actually inherited or they are passed along. And so to receive the honor of being a Krampus, in those times, there would be like these huge celebrations where it's really a seat of honor. So you're a member of a community and you're being recognized. Basically, you're being asked to join the parade. And they give you the mask, and then you become a part of a tradition. So it's interesting because I could see where it would get out of hand. Yeah,
don't get too in character if you're going to be a Krampus. You can have your little chains and your whips and your birch sticks and all that. Just don't hit people unprovoked unless they ask for it. Then by all means, have fun.
Consent is king.
Consent is king, even as Krampus. So, as I mentioned a little bit before, Krampus was outlawed in some periods of time. So following the 1932 election in Austria, the Krampus tradition was banned by the Dollfuss regime, which was led by the clerical fascist Fatherland Front. And I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce its actual name. And the Christian Social Party. The government called him an evil influence on the morals of children. And in some regions, people could be fined for dressing as Krampus. And then in the 1950s, the Austrian government distributed pamphlets titled "Krampus is an Evil Man." Can you imagine that being your job? It's like, here you go, Billy, you're going to go hand out Krampus pamphlets to all the children.
We got a lot of anti-Krampus propaganda to get out there.
It's really important that we do this because that's our most important goal of our entire regime. So nonetheless, but due to the concerns that encounters with Krampus could negatively impact children's mental well-being, that was kind of the main reason for the pamphlets. However, towards the end of the century, Krampus celebrations experienced a resurgence and continue to be popular today. So once they kind of took their boring attitudes out of here, they got to have fun
you mean
again.
we could get drunk?
Yes, as Krampus. I mean, you could get drunk at that time period too, I think. You just couldn't do it dressed as Krampus, which is way more fun.
Yeah, no. If I have the choice of just, getting drunk as me or getting drunk as a half goat man monster,
absolutely.
Half man goat monster.
The
Always.
latter is always the best
Half goat
choice.
man monster.
Yes. So regional celebrations, Krampus has gained international popularity. He is an international icon at this point, leading to the
she
is
an international icon.
Yes.
So again, we come to this interesting thing where Krampus is not a person.
Yeah.
It's not a singular thing. There are many Krampuses.
Yeah.
Krampus.
I like Krampi.
It's
Krampi.
Krampus.
Krampus?
Krampus.
Yeah.
Krampus.
Yeah. The Krampus.
Many Krampuses.
Yes. And so, yeah, it's like he's a mutt. That is my take on it. That's the easiest way to solve this situation. There you go. So some of the oldest and most traditional events dedicated to Krampus can be found in regions like South Tyrol and Salzburg, Austria. And Schladming, Austria, hosts one of the largest Krampuslauf events annually. This wild party attracts approximately 800 Krampus-clad individuals, nearly 8,000 spectators, and culminates in a massive after-party. And when the popular Christmas horror movie, Krampus, was released in 2015, events began to spread across the United States, including cities such as Los Angeles, San Francisco, Portland, Oregon, New Orleans, and even Bellingham, Washington now hosts their own annual festivals.
I was wondering if Bellingham was going to join in the fun.
I figured we
It's
were all
really
wondering.
The marker as to whether or not something is happening.
Exactly.
If Bellingham's in it.
If it's in
Bellingham's in
Bellingham,
on it.
is Bellingham in on it? Oh, well, then that's it.
And so Chris kind of touched upon the traditional Krampus costume. So while the U.S. embraces Krampus fever and revels in a night of extravagant festivities, people in Austria and Germany approach these traditions with greater seriousness. They meticulously prepare for these events for months, crafting costumes and carving masks with great care. And the most authentic costumes are even considered folk art. So there are entire museums dedicated to this goaty demon and filled with ghastly masks and sheepskins. Traditional masks crafted with meticulous hand carving showcase intricate details. In Austria, renowned artist Ludwig Lugi Schnegg.
Looky Schnegg.
Lugi Schnegg has been diligently hand carving masks for all 80 members of the Heiming Krampus group since 1981.
Amazing.
And interestingly, Krampus groups are indeed a real phenomena. So it's kind of like New Orleans, I'm gathering, with how there are different crews and how they all had their own takes on Krampus. But yeah. The rise of the Krampus depiction, though, was definitely through the postcards. So between 1890 and World War I, manufacturers in the Alpine regions began sending Krampus Christmas cards, which is honestly the depiction that most of us are familiar with, is those illustrations from those Christmas cards.
They used to be red cards.
Yes.
And they would just print the black, Krampus on it. They got much more, involved, but there's some amazing... speaking of folk art of the period, seeing Krampus yanking children up with the
yeah, just like this guy.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Right there, that one. That's the guy that you can't see, but I can see it. It's JT will probably insert something along the lines of that same image, but yeah, it's Krampus shoving a child into a sack, with a little girl sitting next to the sack who does not look as concerned as the boy.
She looks like a doll.
She does, with her
Actually, they both look like dolls now.
Yeah, with her basket of apples. The little boy does not look as amused. But yeah, so this marked the beginning of the commercialization of our demon friend, fueled by the boom in the postcard industry in Austria and Germany during that period. The endearing image of Krampus captivated the public in these postcards, conveying cheerful messages such as Gruß vom Krampus, which is greetings from Krampus, and Brav sign, be good. To the point.
To the point. I'm not wasting time on this.
Exactly. And so,
yada.
yada, be good. So over a century later, Monty Beauchamp, an art director and graphic designer, finally made his way across the ocean and into the hearts of Americans. He believes he's largely responsible for the demon's popularity in the U.S. And in 2004, after publishing a book of Krampus cards and organizing an art show featuring the Christmas Devil, the legend gained mainstream recognition. So now that you've made it all the way here, here's some rare Krampus facts. Krampus has a twin legend. So Krampus is often paired with a human that is not Saint Nick. That
Ruprecht.
Yes, Nicked Ruprecht. And another Punisher who smacks kids with a sack of ash, asks them
He's just a jerk.
Not a sack of ash.
He does.
Dang.
And asks them if they can pray. Which I'm like, what kind of question is that? Of course they can. But
Can you? Well, not with a mouthful of ash.
No. Gives out coal. And the legend varies region to region, but some villages have both visiting in the same night, one demonic and one grim and human.
Yeah.
So
Rupert is just a mean man.
He's just a really mean man. I think it's coal ash, Patrick. Patrick
yeah, it's coal. It's
ash.
it's literally like
How do we know that?
I would hope
that's the
it
legend.
is. Yeah.
Is that
is it coal?
he's like a chimney sweep kind of character that like fills the stuff out of a fireplace and then he wallops you with it.
Wow.
He just has anger issues.
And he's his
it.
own thing too. He's not. It's like he's just this jerk of a guy.
Right.
Like pray, bam,
Pray, bang, bang, bang. He doesn't even bother to get sticks.
He's almost like shock-headed Peter. He's got that kind of vibe to him.
Yes, very much so. So our second fact, Krampus used to carry a switch ledger.
A what?
A switch ledger of children he's going to
He's
beat.
going to, a naughty list.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So old postcards show Krampus carrying a book of names like Saint Nick, but instead of gifts, it's lists which children get beaten.
There you go.
So
That's adorable.
right, I kind of want one of just
A switch ledger.
A switch ledger. Number 3, there's a rare Krampus variant called Krampus with the mask removed, which is very creepy. Some very old villages have a terrifying sub-legend. And Krampus roams masked, but if you see him at night after midnight, he removes the mask, and underneath is no face at all, just darkness and horns.
Yep.
Terrifying.
Yep.
And then number 4, in some regions, Krampus doesn't punish kids. He eats greedy adults. And there are obscure Alpine stories where Krampus focuses on gluttons, liars, thieves, and adulterers. And
so he's just taking 4 of the 7 deadly sins. Someone else can handle the other 3.
He's like, these are my main grievances.
Got my hands full here. Well, he's stuffed by the end of the night.
Yeah, he's like,
I couldn't take another bite.
Especially with the gluttons.
Somebody get the wrath.
Yeah. And basically, if you're a bad adult, he drags you away and devours you in the forest. Some villages described him as choosing one offering each winter. So you find the person you hate the most in the village and you offer him to Krampus.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Gullah Geechee witch.
Kind of, yeah, in a little bit.
A little bit.
And
Actually, no, that's exactly Gullah Geechee witch because people send witches
to the people they hate.
They don't like.
Yeah, absolutely. So our last one, number 5, Krampus has a rare summoning ritual.
Oh, the fat candle.
Yes. In Corinthian folklore, there's an old belief that you can call Krampus by lighting a tallow candle. A tallow candle, basically fat. Leaving a shoe outside filled with ash and whispering your worst sin into it.
Oh, wow.
The candle supposedly goes out when he hears it.
Whoa.
Creepy, right? Yeah.
That's terrifying.
Why
Very
is he listening
creepy.
to people's boots?
Literally. He's got the
Keep
boot
your
phone.
ears out of my boots.
It's like he's
got
the
a foot
can
fetish.
phone. Not
That's
Krampus.
a YouTube title. Krampus has a foot fetish.
So when we were a kid,
We get a
my
million
gosh.
views.
we were told that we'd get candy in our boots, and so we would actually put my dad's combat boots out
For a
to
bigger
get
boot?
candy
Yeah.
to have more candy,
Yeah.
right? Not really thinking about it because, like, as an adult, I'm like, oh my god, that was my dad's combat boot.
It's
That
like
was like
who-
his sweaty giant boot that we just hung outside.
filled with sweets.
Yeah, and then it was full of candy in the morning, but we never were like, ew, someone's foot was in here. We're like, oh, look at all this candy. We were eating boot candy.
Boot candy. And Krampus was just there on the other end of the string with his boot, listening for your worst issues that you have. That's what I imagine he's doing. Is like, the can phone.
He's like the worst therapist too. It just shows up and beats you.
He's like, you lied to your mother.
Crack.
Eat, cannibalize. But yeah.
Rupert, get over here.
Rupert. Beat him with the ash. So yeah, that's Krampus for you.
That's a great episode.
It's fun. Krampus has fun lore.
Krampus is amazing, characterization of how culture gets swallowed.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
Because it is obviously some kind of Yule monster, some kind of winter beast that got folded into the Christian ethos.
Yeah, it's just so interesting that he is quite the celebrity, a really enduring celebrity of the times, like way more than any of the other Christmas beasts.
Right. You don't see the Yule lads or the Yule
the
cat.
gorilla.
And the gorilla is hard to depict when it really comes down to it.
You're telling me you can't draw 9 tails of balloons and children hanging from them?
With, multiple eyes and faces and heads and, 90 feet long or 10 feet long. It's so weird.
For all those listeners who found us after, what would that be? 2022?
That was
it was early.
A while
That was
ago.
early. That was like season 1 or 2, I think.
Yeah.
We did an episode on the gorilla. You should go back and listen to it if you haven't.
Man, she has a soap opera of a life.
I think I audibly said I hated this episode.
You did. But you know what you also hated? The squonk. And look at where we are now. Everybody loves the squonk. It's just you.
It's me.
The gorilla truly has the most fascinating Christmas monster lore. She has been divorced. She ate her ex-husband. She had children that are menaces to town.
Monsters.
She has a 50-foot tall cat that stalks around.
That kills you if your clothes are ripped.
Yes. And she carries children in balloons on her tail.
What
more do you want?
Flesh balloons.
I mean, I love ridiculous things like that, but at that point we were a lot smaller than we are now. And I'm like, this is gonna
should revisit
ruin
the gorilla.
I will absolutely
right,
re-divulge the gorilla lore if you would like that. But yeah, she's
comment. We never do that type of stuff.
Yeah. Comment.
Tell us
if you want to hear the gorilla.
We'll talk about the gorilla.
We can do that because next year I would wager we should talk about La Befana, the Italian Christmas witch.
Well, there's plenty of December left.
There is.
We can talk about La Befana because La Befana, very bizarrely, I had almost the exact same experience in Italy, living in Italy.
I believe that, yeah.
And it was La Befana's coming tonight. And actually the name, La Befana, actually sounds very pleasant. And it's like, oh, who is that? And they're like, oh, it's a Christmas witch. And that gives you pause because you're like, I don't understand what that means exactly. And then you're like, oh, well, Glinda is a witch, right? She's in a ball gown and she shows up in a bubble.
She's a take on Glinda, if you will.
No, she's a terrifying, or at least in Vicenza, Italy, the La Befana who came was very much, she kind of looked like she was escaping from a really demented Fiddler on the Roof kind of thing because she had the babushka and she was, all hunched over. She had a hunchback and she had a broom and she was screaming in Italian and we didn't know Italian. So we were like, what's happening? But the sad thing is she wasn't a witch. She was just an old woman who missed out on giving Christ a present. And so she gives children presents hoping to make up for missing out on that. But her story turned into
a nightmare.
The nightmare witch. I was like, oh, that's terrible.
She's just misunderstood.
So,
yeah, if you want to hear about La Befana as well, let us know, and I'll cook up some La Befana, no pun intended.
And remember, we are hosting Krampus December 6th, which is tomorrow for all the people who are listening to this on the regular podcast. December 6th, Saturday, from noon to 4, we're offering photographs with Krampus. If you buy a ticket to the museum, it'll be $5 to do a selfie and another $5 if you want a professional picture taken. Or if you want to bypass the museum entirely, it'll be $25 for a selfie and professional photo. You can just be led straight back to Krampus, who is milling about in the back of the museum.
He's resting when he can from his world trotting that he did from the night before of beating all the kids of the world, as one does. So, yeah, if you want to meet the Krampus, the only Krampus.
A Krampus.
A Krampus. You can come find him in Savannah, Georgia. But thank you all for listening to this episode. It was rather unhinged. I wasn't expecting that, kind of.
When we do these types of cryptid episodes, I just kind of give up.
It's it's easy to get lost in the sauce.
A lot of people don't know how much I kind of keep y'all in your
Patrick
area.
says, who needs hinges? I agree. Who needs hinges? We don't have those.
Well, all our doors would just fall off the wall.
Well,
if we didn't have
we're
hinges.
not doors, though. We personally, as humans, do not need hinges. We're hingeless. So it makes sense. Let us be hingeless.
Would elbows count as hinges?
See, y'all, this is what I'm talking about. We've been talking about hinges for a minute and 20 seconds.
Like Stonehenge.
Oh,
yes.
God.
Stonehenge. Okay, well, anyways, thank you for listening to this episode. Please comment down below what you want to hear about next, and hopefully we'll see you at the museum.
The Grilla. Please not the Grilla.
Yes, the Grilla.
Bring on the Grilla.
You can also comment no Grilla, and that will count.
No.
Yes, it will.
Trust me, you want to hear about the Grilla.
The Grilla is awesome. There's sex. There's violence. There's cannibalism.
Yeah. Yule lads. They're all in. Exactly. Yes, Grilla and Grillas. Yeah, everybody wants the Grilla.
Not the Parajunkies asking
Bring
for the
on
Grilla.
the flesh balloons.
No,
Bring
balloons. The Parajunkies get whatever they want. Oh, no.
Bring forth
it's going to happen.
Yes, it's happening. My favorite Icelandic monster.
We should do a Mary Lloyd.
Yes.
I think we did.
We did.
We had an episode of Mary Lloyd as well.
did.
But I think just taking a look at those winter morbid beliefs and customs is it's a fine thing to revisit, because how we deal with bleakness and depression and darkness and sorrow oftentimes shows up as our superstitions about the paranormal.
True. That's very true. So, Grilla it is. See you in that one. All right, everybody. My name is Madison Timmons.
And I'm Chris Soucy.
And stay spooky, y'all.